So this is the video for the second part of Monday. This is your second video about right angles or complementary angles. They mean the exact same thing. You'll notice in these angles, you actually have some x values that you need to figure out first. It's not just a degree value, you have x values, so we actually have to solve some equations to figure that out. So I'm going to do an example with you. This example is not on your sheet. This is an example that I have on my own. So I can see that I have a right angle here, which means this entire angle should measure 90 degrees. So what that means, since I have x values in there, is I know this plus this should equal 90 degrees. So what I'm going to do is take my angle that's 3x, add my other angle that's labeled 5x plus 2. Okay, so here's my first angle. I'm adding my second angle together, and I know these two angles should equal 90 degrees. Okay, so at this point, since you have your equation set up, again, my two angles added together equal 90 degrees. I know this total angle is supposed to be 90. So at this point, it just turns into solving an equation. So the first thing I need to do is combine these two together. So 5x plus 3x is 8x. The next thing I want to do is subtract my 2 on both sides. So I've got 8x equals 90 minus 2 is 88. And my last step for this is to divide by 8. So I'm going to divide by 8 on both sides to get x is equal to 11. So I know in order to find my two angles, my x equals 11, and I would plug that in to find my two angles. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the slide, and you are going to, on a scrap piece of paper if you have one, if not, you can open up another Google Doc and type it on there to show your work. But you're going to add the two angles together and solve the equation to figure out what x is equal to, just like I did in my example. So if you feel like you want to try it on your own, stop the video now, pause the video, and try these 3 examples on your own. If you feel like you need some help, continue watching the video. I'm going to go ahead and set all of these up as equations right now so that you can solve them. So again, if you feel like you don't need any help, go ahead and go try them. But if you feel like you need some extra help or want to come back to get some extra help, I'm going to go over these 3 problems right now. So the 3 problems right here, I have written on a piece of paper. Okay, your first one, ready for a second. Okay, your first one is right here. Okay, again, I see the little triangle. I know that this is a right angle, which means that this should add up to be 90 degrees. So these two angles added together need to be set to 90. So I'm going to take my first angle, 63, add my second angle, which is 2x plus 3, and set that equal to 90. Oh, my face is in the way. All right, so again, my two angles, 63 plus 2x plus 3, set them equal to each other and set it equal to, or not equal to each other, I'm sorry, add them together and set it equal to 90. From here, you just want to solve the equation, and that's how you get your x. For the next one, you've got 3x plus 6 and 48. So I know these two angles, when they add together, should be 90. This entire angle is 90 degrees. So I take my two angles, 3x plus 6 is my first angle. I'm going to add 48 to it, which is my second angle. And I know those two angles together should equal 90. So when you add those two angles together, 3x plus 6 plus 48, you need to set them equal to 90. There we go. It's a little bit in focus. You solve from there. And the last one is a little bit more complicated, but not too bad. Okay, you just have a little bit more than what you usually see. So here's my two angles. I know it's a right angle, so I know these two angles added together should have a total of 90 degrees. So I'm going to take my two angles, 6x plus 4 is the first one, add my second angle, which is 4x plus 6, and set that equal to 90 degrees. Oh, bless me, sorry. So to solve this one, remember, combine your x's together first. 6x plus 4x is 10x. 4 plus 6 is 10. And you finish solving your equation from there. Okay, so if you have any questions at all, please feel free to contact me or send me an email.